So today we're going to be adding color into our projects. I put the color wheel up on the board here because I want you guys to pick one main color to work with. If you're gonna do two colors for your project, I would recommend doing colors that are across from each other on the color wheel. So that's why you can see on my project, I did orange and the back part of the cat is blue. It's like the tail and the hind legs are blue. If you want to make colors, I'm only going to be using two colors for the demonstration. I'm going to be using orange and red, and you can see orange and red are right next to each other. So I'll be doing everything a light orange, adding a little bit more pressure with the same orange. And then to make my darkest orange, I'm going to add a little bit of red into it. Okay, so look at the colors to the left and right of your color that you're choosing. And I'm going to go ahead and show you all how to do that now. And it's really kind of based on how you want to do it. It's really trying not to get two things right next to each other is kind of the main goal. But let me go ahead and switch this up so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Whoa. All right, so here's my cat that I did for you guys last week. And so like I said, I'm only using two colored pencils for this project right now. I'm using an orange, and this is like a red or a red orange. Okay, I'm gonna set the red one to the side for just a second. So when you're focusing on this, you're gonna have three main colors, all right? You're gonna have your light color, your medium color, and your dark color. And if you want, you can even practice on the side here, because remember, we're gonna end up cutting all of these things out. So if you wanted, you can do, I'm adding the least amount of pressure for my lightest orange. I'm gonna add a little bit more pressure for my medium orange. And then I'm gonna replicate that medium orange, okay? And add a little bit of red to it on top to make it more of a red orange. And that's gonna be my darkest orange there. So now I've got light, medium, dark. So what you can do is for your whole project at the beginning, you can color the whole thing its lightest color, okay? So we've kind of done this before, if you remember, with our name pattern project, when we colored everything the lightest color, then the medium, then the dark. Except this time, instead of blending them together in one space, they're gonna be separated by section. So I'm gonna go ahead and color the entire thing this orange, okay? And if you want to do that second color for your, like I have blue on one side of mine, if you want to do that for different sections, so if you're doing like a flower where you want the petals to be different than the inside or the stems or the leaves, you can do that. Like you don't have to color everything this one color. You can use a different light color. If you go outside of the lines, I wouldn't worry too much about that either, only because we're going to end up cutting this out. So if you go outside of the lines here, it's really not a big deal, only because you can clean it up later. Don't rush whenever you are coloring these in. I'd rather you guys take your time and have them look nice and neat than rush through it and have it look directional. Remember, we don't want to have like scratchy color. You want to make sure that you're either coloring in one way up and down, or you're kind of going in that oval type of rotation coloring pattern. And it makes things look nice and smooth. Okay, so as I'm coloring this in, I'm gonna start thinking about where I want things to be a little bit lighter and darker. I usually would associate darker colors to be towards the outside, or kind of towards the outside of like a different section. So like the mouth area, I know like on a cat would stick out further than like in between the eyes. So I'm trying to figure out where I want some of these colors to be blocked in, just so it looks a little more 3D. All right, so done with the light orange. So now I can start going in to see where I want things to be a little bit darker. So I'm gonna, and I try to match, if your object is symmetrical and you wanna match it, then you can do the same thing on both sides. I find that to be kind of the easiest way to do things. So I'm going to start just kind of in the middle and work my way to a side. And if I do it on one side, I'll match it on the other. So I'm going to make this section a little bit darker here. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing here, which means I'm going to match it on the other side. Okay, and this is where it really starts to look cool. Like this is where you're starting to get your like stained glass type of look. Okay. This one I think is going to be a dark red. So I'm going to leave these light. All right, I'm going to make this one a little bit darker, which means this one is also. I know I want this section to be a really dark orange, so I'm going to make these dark also because they're kind of under and on the bottom. If you want, you can go back in whenever you're ready and start here. Start making them the darkest like that. And then I'm going to do the outside as well. So probably here is going to be a really dark orange. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side and make this one darker. And I'm going to go back in with my red real quick and go ahead and make that change or make it darker. This way, if I want to add the medium orange in, I can. When you're doing your colored pencil, using your colored pencils, you want to kind of flatten them out a little. You don't want it like 100% sharp. So see how this one's kind of at like an angle, how the lead is. And if you need to scribble on the side of your page to kind of wear it down a little bit, you can. It just makes it a little bit smoother whenever you're coloring. All right, so I need some dark orange on the side here. So I'm going to do like some medium right here. Okay, I'm going to add that same thing on this side. And I'm going pretty quick. You guys take your time whenever you're doing this. And we need some darker on the side here too. So I'm going to bring my red in again. Make this dark. And this section here. Make it darker. Some of these need to be a little bit darker as well. So maybe like a medium orange here. Same thing on the other side here. And then I'm thinking probably just one or two more sections here need to have some different color, maybe right here. And I'll make that a dark orange. And here too. And I think that should be pretty good. Maybe change up an ear. All right, and yeah, then I'll make the ear a darker orange up here. And then after I got that down, I can move on to my next object. You can, if you want to shadow your backgrounds, you can. You don't have to. I haven't had many people that have. So you can have a regular background if you'd like. If you want to shatter portions of it, you can, but it's not a requirement. But take your time whenever you're adding color to your shattered objects today. This does not have to be finished in a class. All right, we're gonna have plenty of time to work on these. And if you're still working on outlining, then get that done first, and then you can start adding color.